Hello and welcome. We are going to talk tonight about taking your note-taking to the next level inside of Microsoft's OneNote. Because there are hidden drawing features in there that a lot of people don't seem to know about. So we're going to talk about them and we'll do a quick demo. So whether you're a student, you're a professional, you're a creative thinker, or just a note-taking fan like me, this video is going to have something for you. So let's get started. Yes, we did have a little cameo by part of Mr. Murphy. He was hiding behind his toy because I forgot my water, so apologies for that. But welcome, good to see you. So, okay, and things are not going to work tonight. Oh, that's just lovely, because I was only depending on everything to work. I'm sorry, give me one sec. I don't know why that's not working. You know what? Here we go. We'll go that way. Okay. So, let's dive in here and get started. So, whatever you do in life or how many different things you do in life, the odds are pretty good you're taking notes along the way. And OneNote is a very popular note-taking tool for good reason. It's a strong tool. It's free. Yes, there's a paid upgrade, but you don't have to go there. And it does a lot of things. And one of the best things about it, as far as well, there's probably two favorite things for me, other than what we're going to talk about. One is the fact that you can use it anywhere, right? You can use it on any device. If you save it up to the cloud, it's available to you everywhere. So you've always got your notes with you, which for me is a really big thing because I never know where I'm going to need to go back and go, what did I write down? And the other thing is that it's got a lot of nifty search built-in capabilities, which are just really helpful when, like me, and you are constantly taking notes for different projects and clients and life and all that kind of stuff. So it makes it easy to dive in and find what you're looking for. The other thing that not everybody seems to be aware of is it does have fairly robust drawing tools. Now, am I saying that this is the only graphic tool that you'll ever need and every artist should drop everything they're using and use this? No, of course not. It is, from that standpoint, basic. But basic is all a lot of us need, right? I'm no Michelangelo. I'm never going to create anything that hangs in the Louvre. But that doesn't mean that I don't rely heavily on visual note-taking. So I do recommend that, people at least think about using this kind of stuff, because not only is it just handy because it's there, but it also helps you and anybody you might share your notes with understand and remember things more, because when you combine visuals with text, your brain gets happy and it stores all the information away. It's also, for a lot of us, a really good way to take notes quickly that then you can go back and fill in details on, but it helps you keep your focus on whatever it is you're taking notes about, while still providing useful notes that you can go back to and refer to and have it trigger the memories or the ideas or whatever. So it's a really nice balance. So basically it's a way to polish up your note taking, whether you are already a visual note taker, or you're just a more traditional write things down. Most people find that this is a very helpful tool to start to use. Alrighty, so what kinds of things am I talking about here? So I'm talking about visual notes for sure. Murphy, what are you doing? All right, he decided to be weird. So, text is fine and great, and that's all I used for many, many years. But once I stumbled across this idea, and I stumbled across it in sketchnoting, which we can talk about if you want. But adding visual note taking, I'm not going to call it drawing, it's visual note taking. I found that made it much more efficient for me when I was taking my notes. And it definitely increased my retention from whatever I was taking notes on. So we're talking, diagrams and mind maps and flowcharts, sketch notes, which I mentioned earlier, all those kinds of things make your notes more engaging for sure, but also taps into the happy place in your brain. And that just helps with learning and retention and idea creation. That said, you can do illustrations in here. Let's face it, I don't know if you've seen, but there's this person right now, I think it's TikTok that I'm following him on. Might be Instagram, but regardless, he creates his illustrations using an old school typewriter. So like that one, like there, not electric, not, like old school. So let's face reality, right? People who are creative can create art in anything. But that said, you can illustrate complex concepts and ideas. Like if you're in medical school or you're doing biology or whatever, there's a lot of drawing that's just a part of that learning. And all that kind of stuff is really important. Also, it's just, for family projects or, cute little things that you want to do or the kids want to do. Those tools are all there for you. And it's just for a great thing for creative expression, for a little bit of downtime, for a reset. So even if it's not like fully note taking, if you're a doodler, right? And doodling has been proven to be very, very helpful for people. So it's also a great digital doodle pad. You can just kind of let your imagination go, and it's a good way to kind of clear the brain's palette, to get you transition from one thing to another, for stress reduction, all kinds of good things. So there's a lot of different ways that this is very, very useful. Now, as soon as I start to talk about this kind of thing, people are like, I don't have a tablet, I don't have a stylus. Okay, I'm talking about this kind of a thing here. You don't need it. You don't have to do it. All of this stuff you can do with your mouse, via touch if you have a touch screen, or using a pen and stylus if you have it. So like, for example, if you've got a Microsoft Surface kind of thing, and you've got that. So whatever you have at hand, no pun intended, but it works, you can do this kind of thing with. And I'm going to even show you, it's going to just be a quick rough one, but I want to prove the point that yes, you can do it, if it's a touchscreen, you can do it with this. So you'll be all set to go. All right. So if you're convinced and ready to go, of course, you would need to go and download it if you don't already have it. Whoops. Really? Okay. So everything is going to fight back now. Nothing is going to behave. My computer did crash just before I went live. I should have expected that there were going to be problems, but I reset. I restarted everything. I expected that to work. Silly me. Okay, give me 1 second. We're going to have to go manual here, because we do need the other screen for this. Let's try this one. So funny. There we go. All right, let's see if it works when I do this now. Yay! Okay, so as usual, all of the links are in the description. But you're just going to go to OneNote.com and you can download it here if you want to learn more about it. Of course, they've got their nice little page here. It works, as I said, on everything. So it's Windows, it's tablets, it's Apple, devices, it's the actual computer, it's the iPad. I don't think I would use it. Well, I guess you could use it on the watch, was what tripped me up. Definitely on the phone. Android. So you can use it on the web. So this is a tool that is available to you wherever you need it to be available to you. And it is free. You do not have to update, to a paid version if you don't want to. I never have, and I have been using this for decades. So that is definitely where you're going to start. Hey, good, that part worked. So that is your starting point. And then when you go in and you start using it, which we'll do in a second, there's a different thing. So if you're going to go to the Draw tab, which is up in the ribbon, right? All Microsoft stuff has still got the ribbon. So you go up to that and you select the Draw tab. It's just one of those places that people don't tend to go and look. So it's there and it's ready and waiting for you. And there's different ways that you can do it. You can do it freehand. You can use like predefined shapes. You can use what's called ink to shape. You can do ink to text, which is really handy when your handwriting is like mine. I can recognize it and identify what I've scribbled for a short period after I've done it. But after that, sometimes even I can't read my handwriting. So it's really handy to have that ink to text. So what that does is it takes your handwritten text, your handwritten text, and turns it into like typed text. Really handy. There's a ruler in there, and then there's some special shortcuts that give you other capabilities. So that is what we are going to walk through in this. But for those of you who are new here, have never met me before, hello and welcome. My name is Kathleen. I'm here as your tech coach. The short version of the story is technology is my day gig. It's also my hobby. So people in my life tend to come to me when they have a question, when they want help, when they've got a problem. And I've come to realize that not everybody has somebody to talk to about this. So that's why we're here every week. So we're here every Friday. I always bring a topic, but you are more than welcome to come and hang out in the chat. ask whatever questions, just hang out and have a good time, whatever works for you. You can also reach me, whoops, here it is, here at yourtechcoach.com. Feel free to go there if you have questions, if you need more information on something, if you have an idea for something that you want me to cover on one of these shows. That's where all the big ideas come from, to be perfectly honest. And if you want one-on-one help, you can go ahead and sign up for a consult there too. So there you go. Easy enough, right? Okay, so let's just go ahead and dive in. I'm going to switch computers, hopefully. Let's see if this works. Oh, it did work. Yay. Okay. I did it in dark mode. If that really bothers anybody, let me know and I can switch it, but it was just easier for me to see, and especially the way I've got things set up right now. Okay, so if you're in OneNote and you've got things ready to go, you can give your page a name. And then, am I already in? Oh, because I'm using this. And then you're going to come up here to draw. Okay, and these are all of, oops, is that not showing up? Hang on, we can fix that. Everything really did go wonky when the system crashed. Guess we're going to be doing some computer updates this weekend. Yay. Give me 1 sec. I'm just going to move this down so it shows up a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so that area at the top, that's what I'm talking about as far as the draw tab. So it'll be, up here, and you just select it. And then you see you've got different options, right? You've got an eraser, you've got different pens, you've got a highlighter, and you can click on the down arrow for any one of these, and you can select the thickness, the colors, you can even use patterns. You've got a lot of capabilities. You can also build out your own custom pen if you want something that you're going to use all the time. We're just going to stay with this one for now, and we'll get into all these other things. So first, let's start off with freehand. So again, you can do this using your mouse, using touch, using a stylus, whatever you've got. But all that means is just drawing, right? So whatever you've got, and like a little flow chart kind of thing, right? And we have a decision point, and it goes this way, and it goes that way. So it works. It's there. Take that down. It's not the neatest thing in the world, but it absolutely works. It's simple. It's fast. You can also, put notes here. And let's say this is the yes path and that's the no path. So this all totally works, and it's no problem at all. If you don't like the colors, like I said, you can go back up here. And let's say you wanted to switch to, well, let's say for some reason you're going to switch to red, you can do that. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. We'll leave it to the white for now. So that is the starting point for most people, and you never ever have to go past this, right? This is someplace that you can always, just go ahead and do the things, and it can be a combination of things. So, for example, this is all handwritten, but if you wanted to go back to just doing text, you can do that too, and put your text here and just type whatever you need to type. So you can combine this however you want. And of course you can change the font size and all that kind of stuff, but we're talking drawing, so we won't focus too much on that. So that is the super simple how you do things, make your life easy world. And well, we'll do that one in a second. The other thing that you can do is you can go back up to draw, and depending on, like you can, if you want this open all the time, you can just hit this little pin over here and that'll leave it open. So you can come over here and you can select the predefined shape. So here I'm going to open up a new page, and we'll call this S2. Right? So if you prefer, you can come in here and you can just grab these regular shapes and just draw with them, right? So you've got that. Let's say you want a rectangle, right? So it does have all the predefined shapes. You can also do lines this way. So, and again, you can combine. If you want to do freehand with this, you can do that, or you just keep coming back up here and selecting. Oops, I didn't select it, did I? There we go. Right? And again, you can change the colors on these and all this kind of stuff. The other thing I wanted to point out is that it does offer you layers of a sort. So I'm going to say layers, right? Because again, if you're used to using a regular graphics tool, it's not layers the way you would see like in one of those. But you can take the different pieces and overlay them because of the way OneNote works on its own, right? You can actually do this with anything. Like if you're bringing in photos, other drawings, web pages, whatever you're bringing into OneNote, you can rearrange it and position them however you want, including stacking them over each other if you want. So this is another handy thing. And this is also, so let's say that you brought in an image that your professor gave you or that a coworker gave you, and you're making some notes on it. You can actually have that image underneath, right? And then put your notes and your drawings on top of that and get that layered effect. So it's layers. It's just slightly different from the layers you might have seen in a graphics tool. Alrighty. Push my luck. Oh, see, I did push my luck. There we go. So yes, you can do this kind of thing with them, as much as you want. You can, resize. You can also change angles on things. So it's pretty much all the functionality that you would expect. All right, so let's go to another one. I won't even bother naming this one. So then there's this concept of automatic shapes, which you can turn on. And the idea here is it's a way to take your freehand drawings and then clean them up. And this is useful until the moment that it's not. So we'll first, let me just show you. Here, we'll just do a different color just because we can. Here, let's pick something shiny. Okay. So let's say, I'm drawing, and you see how that made that a circle. Let me make this a little bit thicker so it shows up better on TV, on the screen. There we go. So if I try to do this, right, and then it cleans it up, and then this, and it cleans it up. So that is handy until you try to do something that is maybe not as traditional. Like sometimes it'll try to turn that into something. Of course, it's not going to do it now. See, like, let's say I wanted it to be that wonky look, but it went ahead and turned it into a circle. So that's why this is not always the best solution. It depends on what it is that you're doing. So if you're trying to do like flowcharts or something like that, or something where it is all just traditional, evenly, defined lines, it's great. But it's when you try to get into like wavy, wonky little things, which sometimes you need to do, right? You want to draw a fluffy cloud, or you need to draw arrows or lines that are not perfectly straight. That's where that setting may not be your friend. So again, it's not a hardship to go and just turn it off. It's right there up at the top. Just pushing my luck all over the place here, right? So you can just turn this on or off. So like if I did want to do this and I didn't want to have to worry about it doing strange things, that's good. And then you can always come back and turn it on for the next thing you're going to draw. So again, it's another option. It really depends on what works best for your workflow, but it's there for you. So we have that. And that's what we call the ink to shape. We don't really have room here, so I'm going to do this. So let me just show you real quick see, I've still got that on. So you see, I went to try to draw, to write, and it gave me a shape, which is pretty funny. So, and it's not even noticing that this is, okay, let's try another page. I wonder if it doesn't like, it may not like the color. I wonder. Let's go back. Okay, of course, because I'm trying to demo, it's not working. But the ink to text normally would pick that up as something that could be converted. I don't know why that's not working right now. It always works for me because I use that all the time. But anyway, it is there. So if it's behaving and you click on the ink to text, then what that will do is that will turn that text into like typed text like this. And it'll do it automatically for you. And it'll try to match the font size and all that kind of stuff. Of course, it's not working for me because, anytime you demo anything, it works during the tests before you do the demo, and it works after the demo, but during the demo, something has to break. So hopefully that's the last one that'll stop working for us. But, that's life. That's just how life goes. Okay, so that would be the ink to text. It works. I tell you, I use it all the time. The other thing that a lot of times people need is the ability to draw a straight line. Now, if you're like me, I cannot draw a straight line to save my life unless I have a tool at hand. So again, we go back to draw. And for that, you want this little ruler icon here. Hover over that. Okay. So that's going to give you an honest to goodness ruler. right? And that means that when you go to draw, let me make this thicker again, up, you get absolutely perfect straight lines. You can rearrange this. You can, adjust this however you need to. But if you need to draw straight lines, it makes life so much easier, right? And so we can do it that way, and we go like this. Now, I do want to show, and I think this is a good time to do that. Let me make sure that this camera is going to come up. That you really can do this with touch, because a lot of people are like, yeah, no, you can't. You can. I promise you. Okay, so here we are. And this is, like I said, this is my Surface Pro, so this is a touch device. We'll go back to the pretty colors, right? So literally, I can come in here, and of course, now it's going to give me shit, right? Why? Oh, because I don't have it selected. Okay. So if I try to draw straight lines, that's what I get. But if I come here and draw straight lines, you got to be right up against the ruler. So this is the difference between when I try to draw a straight line, that's what I get. But using a tool like this, I get it. And then, of course, you can readjust this also as a touch option. And then you just want to make sure you've got that selected. And then you can go ahead and draw. Honestly, you can. Maybe I had too much caffeine today. So again, just another handy tool when you need it. It's really helpful, but you don't always need it, and that's okay too, because you can just make it go away by deselecting it. Okay, so we're back to our regular view. We did the ruler, we did this. Okay, so for the times, let me go and add another section. For the times when you don't want to use the automatic shapes, but you do sometimes want the device to clean up your image for you. So again, right, when I'm trying to draw things, this is generally what I get. And even if I really take my time and try to connect it, like it's always wonky. Like that's just who I am. Okay. But the other thing that you can do is you can go ahead and hold when you're done. So when you get to the end here, if you just hold for a second, I'm seriously over-caffeinated. There we go. Hopefully that showed up. You know what? Let's do that again. Here. So this is me doing my usual thing. And this is the built-in functionality that when you hold for a second, the thing is you need to stay still. It'll turn it into that clean image if you just hold it for a second or two. To me, that's kind of magic because it's the perfect combination of freehand drawing and the automatic shapes. But I can easily, make myself any shape that I want, little puffy cloud, whatever it is that I want to do, I can still go ahead and do. But then when I want to do something that is cleaner, it will line itself up. That to me is magic. That's the one that I use the most because it's intuitive. And again, it'll work with the mouse, with touch, or with your stylus. You know me, I love my styluses. So that's what I have for you. I wanted to let you know that there were these features in there that you can go ahead and use them. They are really helpful. It's a really good way to polish up your notes, but it's also a really good way to make note-taking more interesting and to make it easier for you to remember what it is that you were taking notes about in the first place. Also, like if you've got an idea. So yes, okay, what I do for a living is software design. So I have to do rough sketches all the time, and my drawing has never gotten any better because I really do them fast. But this is also something else that you can share like in a meeting. So a lot of times I'll just, boxes, right? One long box for the page, a couple of boxes and some circles for the elements on the screen so that when we're working through ideas as a group and brainstorming, we're all looking at the single image. So we all have the same picture in our head. And that's where like being able to just hold it and have it turn into a nice clean shape is really elegant and kind of like magic. Thank you, Gamer. I'm glad. Like sometimes with this kind of stuff, I get a little carried away. I admit it. But it's the kind of thing that's like built into the tool, and people don't realize the depth of it. So there is that. So that's what I have for you. I do invite you, if you want to know what's coming up, to go ahead and sign up for the mailing list because there are things coming up. And if you are interested in helping me find out how I can help you better, if you go into the description, there is a survey link that you can fill out, which should take like 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how much you want to tell me. So you can go ahead and do that. For you folks, and you know I love you, who stick in here all the way to the end, I did want to give you your bonus. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's hope it works, because again, something just failed on me, and you know, that's not fun. So one of the things I wanted to give you as a bonus is this idea of the ink replay. Oh, good, it's here. Let's see if it works. I should take this off. So this just went through and replayed everything I drew. Now, there's a couple of different ways that that's fun, and some of that is just because it's fun. Some of it's because it's almost like pseudo animation, right? But it's also really handy, like, you know, if you're in a meeting or something, and people don't remember how we got to where we are in the meeting. I always keep stuff as I'm drawing, you know, as I'm sketching things out. So you can just come over here. Now, it may or may not be under the 3 dots, depending on how big your screen is. But you just come over here and you select on this ink replay, and you get that, which I find lots and lots of fun. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is that there are a ton of keyboard shortcuts. I don't know what I just was going on. Let's stay away from that. So the keyboard shortcuts are also in the description, but there are lots of them. And again, if you are the kind of person who is heavy into the keyboard, it's good to know that these are here. And of course, the link is there for you. Now, I am in no way, shape, or form suggesting that anybody should use all the keyboard shortcuts. But it's always worth looking at that list and looking for the things that you do most often and learning those. Because you don't need all, I think it's like 60, 65 shortcuts. But there's probably 3 or 5 that would make your day-to-day life so much easier. So I do highly recommend going and checking that out. And then one more bonus for you. If you're curious about the sketchnoting that I've mentioned, it's one of those things that either people have heard about and love, or they have no idea what we're talking about. I also can, I put this link into the description. So this person does a lot of training on it, but this is the idea of this, you know, visual note taking. Now, it doesn't start out like this, and it doesn't have to be this quote unquote neat. What people tend to start out with is they just write down the stuff, and then they go back and maybe they add a little color, or, you know, they connect the dots on some things. So here's just a couple of examples. Like, this is a several page one, but it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be an artist. You don't have to draw great pictures, right? It's just the idea that you scribble something, you know, that works for you, that you can identify with the text that you want to see. And here's an example. Let's see, I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit, because I love this example, because it is 2 people, right, the left and the right side, who were at the same session doing sketchnoting, and you can see how different it is, because it's not like there's a right way to do it. There is the way that works for you. So very different, same information. So if you're curious about that, again, go ahead and look at the, go to the description and get the link and check it out. There's lots of resources online if you want to learn more about it. Again, for me, it's the kind of thing, like, I've taken a couple of courses, I've read some books on it, because that's how I learn. I don't do all of it, but I've cherry-picked some things out of it that I use all the time now. So it's, as a bonus, I'm just giving it to you as something to go and consider. I hope everybody is having a great week. As I mentioned, we are here every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You are always welcome to come and hang out live if you'd like to, or if you are watching this on a replay, you can go ahead and share your thoughts, your questions, whatever, in the comments. I do go and read those on a regular basis. It just takes me a little time, because there's many of you and one of me, but feel free to reach out there, or reach out at the website at yourtechcoach.com. Whatever works best for you is fine by me. I will see you next week. I hope you have a great weekend. Bye. Let's see if this works.